In the mind of the government, it's case closed. But when you've got a secret as big as Roswell, the secret doesn't stay a secret forever.
Everyone wants to know what happened in Roswell.
This is the great secret they don't want us to know. And now we know.
Ben, you're a former federal special agent and paranormal investigator, so this is right in your wheelhouse. Were you that kid that would go outside, lay on the ground in the backyard, and look up into space and wonder what's out there, and more importantly, what's come here?
Absolutely. I was kind of a geek as a kid. I had the telescopes, I had UFO newspaper clippings, the books. I didn't want my friends to know, but it fascinated me. I never thought that as an adult I would believe more of this than I did as a kid.
I remember interviewing a group of astronauts, and I said, do you think we're the only ones? And the commander said, you know, when we're up in space, he said he was looking at Earth, and he said it was a magical, amazing, beautiful marble, right? And he said, how can we have another one of these where this is so perfect and unique? And then he turned around and looked out and said, with the vastness of space, though, you have to realize we can't be the only ones.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always wanted to go to space. Being an astronaut was something I wanted to do as a kid, too. I think you can see that without going to space, though. Just look around you and see the diversity of people that we have on our planet. And the more we learn about quantum physics and how these beings, might be traveling to us, it's breaking paradigms, I think, all throughout science.
You've done other shows. UFO Witness reopens old case files
containing reports of over 10,000 UFO sightings investigated by the U.S. government.
Hostile aliens, missing time.
I want to go check it out for myself.
We could be on the verge of uncovering some very big secrets.
Featured in Roswell, the final verdict. And so tell us what it is that you hope people will get from this, because some things have changed, mainly in terms of what information we now have access to.
The public is not only waking up, but more importantly, the official agencies have told us this is a national security threat. So call it whatever they need to get the funding for it. They're going to be looking into this. NASA, in fact, jumped into the game and said, we will be giving our input on this. Hopefully we have some congressional hearings on it. And whether you do it for the reason that it might be our adversaries or it might be visitors from outer space, who cares? Let's get to the truth. And I think we're going to start to see this roll out over the next months and years.
Unofficial version of events at Roswell is quite compelling, Captain.
In case someone just landed on Earth, let's back up a little bit and explain what happened July 2nd, 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell is the granddaddy of all UFO cases.
The locals said it was the lightning that took it down that night.
Ranger Mac Brazel came across this really extensive area of debris.
He said whatever the debris was, he could tell that it wasn't man-made.
The base sent Major Jess Marcel, the intelligence officer, and at that point it basically became a military site as they gathered up every bit of debris they could find.
The Air Force comes out on July 8th and says, this was a captured disc. The Army Air Force says they captured a flying disc.
That's a bombshell confession.
Within hours, they reverse their decision and the headline says it's a weather balloon. The Air Force then changes that several times with different explanations.
We've been able to explain them as hoaxes, as erroneously identified friendly aircraft, as meteorological or electronic phenomena, or as light aberrations.
The conspiracies start, but you can't just dismiss it as conspiracy if you now have hundreds of witnesses who've come out. Many of them were threatened with their lives in the beginning, and so they were hesitant.
What were you doing in Roswell, New Mexico in July of 1947?
We don't have really any of them left alive, so we rely on things of their video and audio testimony.
Knowing that these certain people are telling the truth, the implications are vast.
So the beauty of this series is that we're analyzing that with new AI software.
I know it happened. I knew it was real. The threats were real.
We're able to ascertain the veracity very accurately of whether they're, telling the truth or embellishing.
And here's the area why we're concerned is that when the Pentagon says we can neither confirm nor deny, for a lot of us, we say that means something really happened.
They're always going to kind of say that, but I think the best thing that came out of what the Pentagon said was they're willing to talk about it. They're willing to have this process of elimination. They're willing to tell you, yes, our pilots and our multiple, satellites and thermal imaging, they've tracked these things jumping 60 miles in 1 second, pulling 700 G-forces. So anyone who looks at that and says we have the physical evidence of it, it's really difficult to say that that's Russia or China. So they put it in what they call this other category, and it's left for us to explore that and see who is flying them then.
And you have so many things that you'll try to answer for. It's like, did the government conduct an alien autopsy? And was it that flying saucer or the weather balloon? Let me end with this. If they are here, just in your opinion, based on some of the things you know, do you think it's friend or foe?
I hope they're friendly. and I think what we can probably glean from just speculating is that we might be being visited by multiple races, if you will. Maybe they have different motivations. The good thing is, though, if this has been happening for dozens or hundreds of years, they haven't invaded yet. So it seems like they're observing, they're holding back. It might be up to them. Honestly, they hold the cards as to when they want to finally make themselves known, and then we'll figure it out. Hopefully it'll be friendly.
Okay, so we're wondering if they've gotten here, but with the government being so top secret, how do we know that we haven't gotten there?
You've got, like private space now, like Elon Musk and everyone going up there to try and get further and establish, colonies on different planets. Unless we actually have some of their technology, I don't think we've probably gotten out of our solar system yet. But who knows? There's a lot of secrets that continually surprise me.
UFO the other way. You'll be hosting that show. Okay. Well, if they turn out to be, foe, then I hope we can come up with technology to at least say, beam me up to someplace else safer.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.